Hey guys, what's up? It's Golden Eagle 171, and today I'm going to give you guys my first impressions of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I'll start by giving you guys my opinions about the pros and cons of each system, and then at the end of the video I'll be telling you guys which one I'll be getting. So first, let's start with the Xbox One. Some of the pros of the console are that it's bundled with Kinect, which personally doesn't interest me, but it could be cool for some of you guys. It will definitely make more people interested in the Kinect because they won't have to buy it separately. And it could make developers more likely to experiment with cool ways to use the Kinect, since they know everyone will have one in their system. The Xbox will have better third-party app support, which again doesn't really interest me, but it could be cool to some of you guys who like to play music or watch movies and things like that on your Xbox. Xbox Live itself is definitely a really big positive. On the Xbox side, I consider it, the superior online service right now. I think it's a little bit better than the PlayStation Network, and Microsoft is going to be making a lot of improvements to Xbox Live in the new generation, like things like bigger friends lists and dynamic achievements that change as you play. So I think those things could be pretty cool. The Xbox is going to have streaming to Twitch TV, which I think is a really great thing. Twitch is pretty much what every gamer uses to live stream, so that's a really good partnership that Microsoft acquired there. And lastly, some DLC is still going to come out first on Xbox Live over the PlayStation Network for games like Call of Duty. I know a lot of you guys are big Call of Duty fans, obviously, and the DLC is still going to come out a month in advance on Xbox Live, so that could be something that kind of sways you to the Xbox side. Some cons of the system are that it's going to have a price of $499, which is going to be $100 more than the PlayStation 4. And this is due to the fact that it's going to be bundled with Kinect. In my opinion, the Kinect is both a pro and a con. The reason it's a con is that it drives up the price of the system, and it might be something that hardcore gamers, like myself, are not really interested in. So they're paying $100 more for something they really don't care about or don't want. And there's always the chance that developers might not make use of the Kinect in the way that they should, which could just make it a waste. It'll just be something you're paying extra for, and it's not really any good. So I guess it just all depends on how developers make use of it. Another negative on the Xbox side is Microsoft's focus on being more than a console. They want the Xbox to be an all-in-one entertainment system, and personally this is something I don't really like, because at the end of the day I just care about playing great games on a console. I have a PC or a smartphone for listening to music, and I have a cable set-top box for watching TV. I don't really need a game console to do all of these things for me, but that's just my opinion. The Xbox One is not going to have any backwards compatibility with the Xbox 360, at least so far. They haven't announced anyway that it's going to be able to play Xbox 360 games, so that's a negative, at least for now. And lastly, they haven't released the GPU specs on the Xbox One, which could mean that it's less powerful than the PlayStation 4. But there's rumors both ways. There's rumors that it is going to be less powerful than the PlayStation 4, and there's also a relatively new rumor that just came out that they're actually going to increase the power of the graphics card before the Xbox One comes out, and they're asking developers what they want them to do. They're either going to increase the RAM on the system or increase the clock speed of the graphics card. So I don't know if any of these rumors are true, but right now they haven't released the GPU specs, so it could mean that it's less powerful than the PlayStation 4, so I'm just going to have that as a negative for now. So let's move on to the PlayStation 4. Some pros of the system are that it has a price of $399, which is $100 less than the Xbox One. I think the share button on the DualShock 4 controller could be really cool. You just click that and you can instantly start recording your gameplay or take screenshots, so that's something that's really interesting. The 6-axis and the PlayStation Move that are built onto the controller, I think those could be really cool. Personally, I'm not really interested actually in motion controls, but I mean, it's cool that they're just bundled in with the system, not like a separate accessory like Move is now with the PlayStation 3. You don't have to pay any extra for them, so it could be cool if developers use it in a cool way, but it's kind of similar to the Kinect. I'm not really too interested in that. Another big pro for the PS4 are the overall improvements they've made to the controller over the DualShock 3 for the PlayStation 3. They made the controller bigger, has a more comfortable shape, and it has triggers for the L2 and R2 buttons instead of buttons like they are now on the PlayStation 3 controller. and it has the trackpad in the middle for scrolling through menus and probably other things, other uses for that. So I think all of these things are really good. I'm not really too big of a fan of the PlayStation 3 controller. It's kind of small and it's not really that comfortable. So I think the improvements that they've made to the PlayStation 4 controller could really be cool. Another big positive on the PlayStation 4 side are that Sony has a partnership with Gaikai, which is a company that's going to allow remote, or a technology, not a company, that's going to allow for remote play to the PlayStation Vita. I'm not really interested in mobile gaming consoles. I don't have a PS Vita or a 3DS or anything like that. But if you do have one, it could be pretty cool to take your PlayStation 4 games off of the screen and just play them on your Vita. And through Gaikai, they're also going to have streaming, game streaming, which allows for backwards compatibility with all the previous PlayStation consoles, 1, 2, and 3. I think right out of the box it's going to have support for PlayStation 3, but I could be wrong about that. And then they're going to have support for PS2 games and PS1 games later. Another thing that they're going to improve is the PlayStation Network user interface. The way it is now, it hasn't really been improved since the PlayStation 3 came out. On the Xbox One side, it looks obviously completely different than when 360 first launched. So it's gonna be cool to see their improvements to the user interface. It's gonna have like your profile, your trophies, profile picture, and that I think that's a really good thing that they're making changes to it. Another big positive, in my opinion, on the PlayStation 4 side, has been Sony's brand messaging, that they're coming across as being more gamer and developer focused. They're focused on being mainly a game console, and the extra apps and stuff is secondary to them. They're really focused on creating relationships with developers, and they're placing a heavy emphasis on indie developers and bringing their games to PlayStation. Well, it's not that Microsoft isn't going to support the indie developers, but I feel like Sony has been better about getting the message across that that they want to support them. So that's a really good thing for the PlayStation 4. Another thing is that the hardware on the PlayStation 4 could be more powerful than that of the Xbox One. This is still just a rumor. Obviously, it won't be confirmed until the consoles actually come out. But if it does turn out to be true, it could mean that we get slightly better graphics out of the PlayStation 4. So, we'll have to wait and see. But for right now, I just have this as a pro for the PlayStation 4. And lastly, some games on the PlayStation 4 will actually have additional content than they will on the Xbox One. Like, for example, Assassin's Creed 4 and Watch Dogs by Ubisoft are each going to have an extra hour of gameplay on the PlayStation 4 that they won't have on the Xbox One. So that's interesting. Sony's actually making some deals with developers, just like Xbox has had with DLC. So we could see some extra stuff on the PlayStation 4 for other games as well. So let's move on to the cons of the PlayStation 4. Now, us gamers are going to have to actually pay for PlayStation Plus for $50 a year to be able to play multiplayer games online. I know a lot of people actually preferred the PlayStation 3 over the Xbox 360 because the online was actually free for the PlayStation 3, but now you're going to have to pay for it on both consoles. So that's something that could go against the PlayStation 4. It's going to have less third-party apps than the Xbox One. If you care about those type of things, like watching movies or listening to music or things like that, then that could affect you. The instant streaming of games on the PlayStation 4 is actually going to be to Ustream instead of Twitch TV, like it's going to be on the Xbox One. And if you care about live streaming, this could be a pretty big negative. I don't know any gamers that use Ustream. Everyone uses Twitch. It's a really good service, and Microsoft went and snatched up that partnership. So that's something that might hurt Sony a little bit. And lastly, some DLC, like I said before, is still going to come out first on Xbox One, like that for Call of Duty. So that's something that goes against the PlayStation 4. So now we move on to the big question of which console will I be getting this fall. And this is kind of a two-parter. My general broad answer is that eventually I'll be getting both. Disregarding each console's specific features, the thing I really care most about is the games. I'm a gamer at heart. I want to be able to play as many great games as possible. And personally, I'm interested in both consoles' set of exclusives, and both those that have been confirmed already, like Halo or Titanfall for Xbox, or like Killzone, Infamous, or Knack for the PlayStation 4. I really want to play all of those games, on both consoles. And also those exclusives that are most likely to come out later but haven't been confirmed. Like more Halo games for the Xbox, maybe another Gears of War for the PlayStation 4, maybe Uncharted 4, or even a sequel to The Last of Us, or maybe even another God of War game. Those established big series for each console. That are going to get sequels on the next generation, and other games from these first-party studios. New IPs and stuff. I'm sure both consoles are going to have really great new games, new series and everything. So, I want to play both of those on both consoles. But for a more specific answer, I'll be getting the PlayStation 4 first. I've actually already pre-ordered it, and I'm going to wait maybe a month or two, or maybe a little longer for the Xbox. It's not that I dislike the Xbox, and just like I just said, I'll be getting one too eventually. And in fact, I was actually a bigger fan of the Xbox 360 this generation than the PlayStation 3. But honestly, the PlayStation 4 looks more appealing to me personally at launch. There's more launch titles that I want to play on the console. The console's cheaper, and I'm not really convinced right yet to pay an extra $100, for the Kinect. I'm not really interested in that. And personally, I like Sony's positioning and their stance about being focused on gamers and working more closely with both developers and indie developers. And it looks like they fixed the problem that they had with the PlayStation 3. They made the PlayStation 3 architecture too different from that of the Xbox 360 or even a PC, and which made it difficult to write games for. And that's pretty much the reason why a lot of third-party multi-platform games actually ran smoother on the Xbox 360 than they did on the PlayStation 3. One that just immediately comes to mind is the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Skyrim on the PlayStation 3 was pretty much horrible. It had so many problems, so many glitches, so many bugs, and Bethesda really neglected that game on the PlayStation 3, because it was just too difficult for them to write the game for the PlayStation 3, compared to the Xbox 360 or the PC. So it looks like Sony has actually fixed that problem though, and they're making it easier for developers to make games for the PlayStation 4, and they're working more closely with them to make sure that everything runs okay. And with the way things are positioned now, it looks like the PlayStation 4 might be the lead console this generation. There's a lot of polls on different gaming websites that actually show that gamers prefer the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One. Whether or not this is because of all the DRM stuff that was going on with the Xbox One a few months ago or not, you be the judge of that. But it looks like people really want the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One, at least right now. And I think I remember reading an article that even some big game developers in Europe say that they actually are preferring to write games for the PlayStation 4 rather than Xbox One. So that's a little interesting thing there. And if things do actually pan out this way, that the PlayStation 4 is the lead console, I might buy most of my multi-platform games, for the PlayStation 4, like I did this generation for the Xbox 360. So, but of course, these are just all my opinions. They're based on a combination of facts, speculation, and rumors. So just take them as you will. But ultimately, we're all going to have to wait until we actually have the consoles in our hands this fall, to make any real judgments about either one. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please let me know what you thought of this video, and if there's anything that you think I might have missed about either console, and let me know what your opinions are of both the next generation consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, and which one you'll be getting and why, and what you think about both of them. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.
Way to step up.